You know what's wild? The person who couldn't commit, who pushed you away every time you got close, suddenly they're back. But here's what nobody tells you about why they came back, and more importantly, what that actually means for you. If you've been with an avoidant, you know the drill. You gave and gave, they pulled back. You tried to understand, they shut down. And now that you've finally walked away, something shifted. They noticed. But not all avoidants respond the same way when they lose you. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly which type you're dealing with. Here's the thing about avoidant attachment. These people spend their whole lives building walls, not because they don't care, but because caring feels dangerous. Their nervous system literally interprets emotional closeness as a threat. So when you were there loving them, their brain was screaming, "Danger, pull back." But then you left. Suddenly, the threat is gone. And for the first time, they can actually feel what they lost without their defense mechanisms firing off. Research shows that avoidants suppress their attachment needs when their partner is present. But when that partner leaves, those needs come flooding back. It's called the deactivation-reactivation cycle. When you were around, they deactivated their need for you. Now that you're gone, those needs reactivate like crazy. If this is already making sense of your past relationship, go ahead and like this video so I know this is actually helping someone out there. And what happens next separates the avoidants who can actually change from the ones just scared of being alone. The 3 stages of avoidant realization. Stage 1. The relief phase. Right after you leave, most avoidants feel relief. Not because they didn't care, but because the pressure just lifted. They can breathe again. They might convince themselves they're happier, more free. This usually lasts a few days to a few weeks. This is where people make their first mistake. They see the avoidant seeming fine on social media and think they never cared. Wrong. This is just their nervous system regulating. Stage 2. The creeping emptiness. But then something shifts. The relief wears off. They start noticing the little things. The inside jokes nobody else gets. The way you remembered how they take their coffee. The person who actually listened. Research on attachment and relationship dissolution shows that avoidants experience a delayed grief response. While anxious attachers feel pain immediately, avoidants feel it later, once defenses come down. And when it hits different. They realize that pushing you away wasn't protecting them. It was costing them the one person who actually gave a damn. And I'm going to tell you what happens in their head in just a minute. But first you need to understand the difference between regret and actual change. Stage 3. The reckoning. This is where the avoidant has a choice. Face themselves and do the work, or just try to get you back without changing anything. When an avoidant who's actually doing the work realizes they lost you, they take accountability. They don't just say, "I miss you." They say, "I understand why you left, and I'm working on myself." They go to therapy. They read about attachment. They do the inner work. But if they come back with empty promises, love bomb you, then go cold again, or blame you for being too needy, that's your sign to leave. For real this time. I'm curious, when your avoidant ex reached out, what was the first thing they said? Was it an actual apology, or just a, "Hey stranger" text? Drop it in the comments, because I bet we all got the exact same line. Let me paint you a picture. An avoidant ex sits alone in their home. 3 weeks ago, they felt relieved. Now they're staring at their phone, scrolling through old messages, and for the first time, they're not running from the feeling. They remember when you asked them to open up more. At the time, it felt suffocating. Now they realize you were just asking to be let in. Those random texts you'd send during the day? At the time, pressure. Now they miss it so much it physically hurts. This is the paradox. They don't know what they have until it's gone, because their brain wouldn't let them feel it fully. Studies show avoidants tend to score lower on emotional awareness measures. They process feelings less in real time. So by the time they figure out what they lost, you're already gone. So they reach out. Maybe it's a "Hey, how are you" text. Maybe a full paragraph at 2 a.m. Maybe they show up somewhere they know you'll be. And this moment? This determines everything. What you do next decides whether this cycle finally breaks or whether you're signing up for round 2. Here's what you need to understand. An avoidant reaching out doesn't mean they've changed. It means they're uncomfortable with the loss. Those are completely different things. When you respond, if you respond, an avoidant who's genuinely working on themselves will show you they've been doing the work. They'll acknowledge specific things they did wrong. They'll ask how you've been because they genuinely care. They'll give you space and won't pressure you. But if they respond with defensiveness when you bring up past issues, minimize your feelings, or want to rush back in without addressing why you left, that's your answer. They're not ready. Most avoidants don't change unless they hit rock bottom. Your leaving might be that moment. Or it might just be temporary discomfort they'll medicate with the next relationship. Your job is not to wait around hoping. Your job is to set standards and stick to them. These aren't tactics. This is you deciding what you will and won't accept. You're watching this video, which means you're still holding space for this person. Maybe hoping they'll change. Maybe wondering if their recent text means something different. So let me ask you this. If this person came back tomorrow with all the right words, showing they've been to therapy, telling you they understand now, would you actually want them back? Or have you finally realized you deserve someone who doesn't need to lose you to figure out your worth? Only you know what's true in your gut. Whether your avoidant comes back or not, whether they change or don't, here's what I need you to hear. You are not too much. You were never too much. You were with someone whose nervous system couldn't handle healthy intimacy, and that's not your fault. The right person won't make you feel like wanting connection is a burden. They won't need to lose you to appreciate you. They'll choose you consistently, not just in panic. So if your avoidant is realizing what they lost, that's between them and their therapist. Your focus needs to be on what you're gaining now that you're not pouring into someone who couldn't receive it. If this gave you some clarity, hit that subscribe button. Because understanding attachment is just the start of building something.